Hello friends, welcome to this video. In this video, I will be talking regarding relative entropy, conditional entropy, joint entropy. These all are information theoretic different kinds of objects based on defined via the basic definition of entropy associated with a random variable x, which is given as, we saw this in the previous video, it is summation over x px log base 2 px. So in this way, this is called the Shannon entropy. So this is the Shannon entropy, and we saw that it is so limit alpha tending 1 for the Rayleigh entropy is actually the Shannon entropy, which is actually also limit alpha tending 1 for the THC entropy. Okay. So we all saw this in the previous video, and in this video we will be just looking at how these are useful to define the concepts of relative entropies. So, but remember, this is the Shannon entropy, and this is the classical perspective of information content for the system, at least for the equilibrium case, or for systems generally, classically speaking. So let's start. So the first definition is associated with the relative entropy. So suppose associated to the random variable x, we have two different probability distribution p and q's, and so the relative entropy p relative to q actually measures the how close. In some sense it is not a true measure, it is a pseudo measure of how close these two distributions are. So it is denoted in this fashion. So this sum over x, it is actually like it is trying to take into account both the continuous as well as the discontinuous case. So for discrete case, p of x is actually px, different kinds of probabilities for different kinds of discrete events. So we can also write this as, in that sense, summation over x px log px qx, like this. So but anyway, let's continue. Now you can use the log a by b, log a minus log b property to say that this is this, where h is the Shannon entropy. So till here everything is fine. Now we will be proving one of the important inequalities, which is the fact that the relative entropy is always greater than equal to 0. It is very easy to see by using the fact that ln of x is always less than equal to x minus 1. X minus 1 is tangent to the curve ln x at the point, this point is 1, 0, and hence it is always above the log function, so it is always less than equal to the greater than equal to the log function over the entire domain of the real numbers. It is not defined in minus infinity, but positive side. So we can use this relation to get this relation that we see here, this part, and then we use this log x minus log x inequality to actually write this h, which is of this form, and it has a log x. We just replace it by this thing. So we see that this is this, and this is greater than equal to this entire thing. But now you can see that the summation over x, this summation part, as it goes inside the bracket, it will produce a 1 because of the completeness, and here it will cancel with p of x, and then again there will be the summation, and summation over q of x is also 1, and so we will get a 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. So this says that the relative entropy is always greater than equal to 0. So the relative entropy is always greater than equal to 0 will now lead to a consequence that this fact, this line is always greater than equal to 0. But now you can simply substitute a uniform probability distribution instead of q of x. So you say that probability x1 occurs is 1 over n, probability x2 occurs is 1 over n, dot dot dot, probability probability xn occurs is 1 over n. This thing here. So this thing will, I have chosen n equal to d here. So this finally gives rise to the fact that there is a upper bound. There is a upper bound to this Shannon entropy. We saw that this upper bound is actually, this upper bound is always there. Even for the Rayleigh entropies, I alpha t, they are always less than this upper bound. This upper bound is occurring for a uniform distribution. It actually captures the fact that the ignorance or the uncertainty associated with the uniform probability distribution is the most. Because obviously, if your probabilities are not biased anyway, you cannot gain much about the system. So in some sense, if I say probability of occurring of heads is 0.9 and probability of occurring tails is 0.1, it automatically gives me the information that, well, a toss will probably give me a head. But instead, if it is 0.5, then the system is completely unpredictable. So this is the ignorance part. Now let's move on and calculate this particular quantity here. This is the relative entropy of a joint probability distribution to the probability distribution when they are independent. So if these two probability distribution are independent or they have zero correlation, then pxy is simply the product. Else we cannot write it in the product. So this particular thing in some sense captures something that is called as mutual entropy, we will see, because this is saying that how mutually they are related. Are they independent or they are somehow correlated? So this can be written in this form, and then we again use the formula. Now here you see we have two variables, x and y. We have to sum over all the variables. So we can actually write it like this. So h of pxy px py is actually equal to summation x comma y pxy log of p. We can use that formula. So log of pxy over px py, this thing here. So this is exactly what I have written in this line. Now we will use again the log property. So log of a by b, log of a minus b, and then multiplication. So it is a plus b. So here we get these three terms. And now you see this, look at this particular term. This particular term, if I can perform the summation over the y part. So I can actually perform the summation over the y part. So why is that so? Because you see pxy is a total probability distribution. So pxy is a total probability distribution, and summing over the y part of pxy will give me px. Similarly, summing over the x part will give me py. So I can use these two principles here and say that, well, I sum, I get px. So this entire thing, this entire second bracket is h of x. And similarly, I sum over the x part, and this entire thing is actually h of y. These are the Shannon entropy associated with these two. and then here this part is what I will define as the joint entropy of the system. So this is the joint entropy of the system with a minus sign, because we know entropy comes with a minus sign. So this is the entire expression of this thing. So HPXY relative to PXP and QX, which is equal to PXPY, QX, so we have chosen a different variable. This is given by this form, and this part is called the joint entropy of the system. And now we can see that as relative entropy is always greater than 0, so the joint entropy of the system is always less than equal to the summation over the individual entropy. So this is actually quite obvious, because you cannot gain any extra information apart from what you have, the sum over the information. So the uncertainty of x plus the uncertainty of y always will exceed the joint uncertainty. There cannot be more uncertainty than this, which is intuitively clear. So now we further define similarly, not similarly, some sort of definitions. So there are two definitions, one is here and one is here. So we say that this is called the conditional entropy, this thing, which is Hx comma y, which is the joint entropy of x and y minus entropy of y. And we define something called as mutual entropy or mutual information, which is h of x plus h of y minus hx comma y. So these are so we have joint entropy, we have conditional entropy, we have mutual entropy. Now let's look at this part, hx plus hy minus hx comma y. We can substitute this thing here, that hx, this conditional entropy equation, to get the fact that the mutual entropy and the conditional entropy are related in this fashion. So hxy is equal to hx minus hxy. So this is the relation between mutual and conditional entropy. And then we have certain inequalities which are important. The first inequality, the first is an equality which is just quite obvious, that hxy, this is the mutual entropy, this is of this form, related to the what is this? This is called the conditional entropy. The second equality is that the mutual entropy can be completely characterized by the relative entropy. It is measuring the relative entropy, is measuring the what will happen if the system is completely independent, the x and y events are independent, and if what happens if they are not independent. Also the mutual entropy, if you see, if you put both side x, so this is the definition of mutual entropy. If you substitute everywhere x, we see that it actually becomes just h of x. So it is clear from this thing that maybe I should write it here, h of xx. What is this thing? So this says that what is the information that we can gain if we already know x, then what is the uncertainty associated with x? It is 0. So maybe I will just explain it in a better way. So let's see. So the mutual entropy hxy is defined to be hx plus hy minus h x comma y. It says that what is the information gained with actually we can actually formulate it in terms of uncertainty. So the uncertainty associated with x and x, what is the mutual amount of information or uncertainty associated with x and y. So it is like from the entire system you can sum over them, but when we sum over them we actually count the information associated with the joint information, we count it twice. So we have to subtract once. This is the mutual information that they two share. And then hxy, which is defined as hx comma y minus hy. What it means is that what is the uncertainty associated with x once you know the uncertainty associated with y. So for that you just take the joint distribution and you subtract the uncertainty associated with y. So that is what is this mutual entropy and this joint information. So with this we have discussed all the major entropic definitions